Hello, good day to all of you high priests at the shrine of spinning wheels. Okay, so I am on my way to Bike and Biker in Wilson Garden. The reason is to check out the double take mirrors for the 390 Adventure. So they are quite expensive for what they are, but I have heard very good things about them, and I'm going to go and have a look. I'm not sure if I'll buy them or not, but can't hurt to have a look. Okay, so on my way to Bike and Biker today, as is the theme with my usual musings from the saddle videos that I do, I have been having a think at some of the things that need to be standardized in motorcycles by the bike manufacturers. So a few things in today's day and age, a few things should be standard. We as buyers of motorcycles, we have every right to expect a few basic things in terms of safety, in terms of convenience, in terms of electronics, functions, what have you. So I have made a list of about I don't know, maybe about 10 things that should be actually standard in today's day and age, and this video is going to be called an open letter to motorcycle manufacturers. Right, so let's get started. So the first thing on the list is a hazard light. So every motorcycle today should come with a hazard light. We should not be looking at putting plug and play devices and all those sorts of things on our motorcycles. It's quite a useful feature. It's a safety feature. If ever we have to stop suddenly for whatever reason, a hazard light should always be built into the motorcycle. That's number one. Number two, all motorcycles should come with some sort of a splash protection. So the front mudguard needs to have some sort of an extension or an accessory to stop the rainwater from spilling onto your legs or to the engine casing. Even the rear mudguard, that should also have some sort of a rain protection. So this should be standard in today's day and age. The third thing is about the sari guard. So the sari guard is actually required by law, mandatorily by the Indian motor vehicles law, to be in place for all motorcycles at the time of selling. It's a really archaic, very old law which needs to be done away with as soon as possible, because it's really a royal nuisance. It doesn't go with the aesthetics, it doesn't go with the functionality. It's there just as an ugly eyesore, and for no apparent reason. And the police have been known to stop people in certain places and challan them if the sari guard is not in place. Anyway, that's another discussion. But if at all the sari guard has to be put on bikes, it needs to be much more tastefully designed than what they are currently. It shouldn't be looking like a hurriedly put together window grill which somebody stole from somewhere, or the much cliched barbecue grill, or whatever it is called in the Indian motorcycle videos. So sari guards needs to be very tastefully designed. It should go well with the aesthetics and shape of the bike, and yeah, people need to take that aspect a bit more seriously. At least till such time the whole sari guard, should it be there or should it not be there argument continues to be in place. The next thing which I want to address is, so we should not be you know, forced to buy bikes which the manufacturers want us to buy. Rather, I should have the option to configure my bike, and this can be done in many different ways. I should be able to do it on the website. So for example, I should be able to pick the seat shape or the seat color or the seat texture or the seat decoration, or you know, for example, if I want a dual horn, I should be able to pick it. manufacturers really should not be setting the tone on this. Of course, I do realize that this presents a lot of logistical nightmares for them to plan and deliver each customized bikes, but hey, in this era of customer satisfaction, and the customer is always right, that is one thing which is expected. The next one is storage. So every bike needs to have some sort of a storage built in somewhere. The best place is under the seat. So all bike manufacturers, they should give a little bit of storage space to keep a little bit of odds and sods or a washing cloth or whatever I want to keep there. So this should come with almost all motorcycles. The next one is all motorcycles should come with a clock for the time and a gear shift indicator. No motorcycles should be coming without them. They are great conveniences to have. I should be able to see the time on the dash. I should be able to see what gear I am on. So this is something which should be mandatory. Okay. The next one is manufacturers need to come up with some sort of a mechanism to integrate some sort of a removable backrest with the grab rail, with the rear grab rail. Again, the customer should not be jumping through hoops to figure out what to do if the pillion actually needs a backrest. It is high time this was actually made as a standard feature. So my apologies guys, this left mirror actually keeps it's come loose, and basically last week I tried to I decided to see if the Dominar 400 mirrors will fit this, and I actually removed the mirror and tried it, and when the guy put the mirror back, he's obviously not done a good job of tightening it, so it keeps coming loose, and it's quite bothersome. Okay, the next one is the mirrors. Exactly. So it's high time we introduce a lot of convexity in the stock mirrors, because you might all have seen a sign called objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, right? And somewhere in an eternal quest to make objects more realistic, manufacturers have started removing the convexity more and more, and these days the automobile mirrors start to look more and more like dressing room mirrors. There is absolutely no convexity. You cannot see clearly what's behind you. So this needs to stop. We need to bring back more and more convexity. If it's about safety, I would much rather have a wider coverage and visibility of what's behind me than worry about how close it is to me. So that is always a much better trade-off in terms of safety, if that's the concern. So this is something which needs to happen. Okay, the next one is, with the stock grab rail, the manufacturers themselves need to design some sort of carriers for us to put any sort of luggage options or top boxes or anything. We should not be going to the aftermarket manufacturers and they design really badly designed aftermarket accessories for carriers and top boxes which don't look good, which are not of the requisite quality, and that's something which needs to happen. Oh, this is very irritating. Okay, the next one is the switch layout. The layout of all these switches for the indicators, for the turn signal, for the horns, for the lights, everything, it needs to be standard across all motorcycle manufacturers, and especially for Honda, because Honda usually inverts the layout of the turn signals and the horn, which is very irritating, and it's potentially a safety hazard also, according to me, because when you want to press the horn, you sometimes press the indicator switch and vice versa, so which is a potential safety hazard as well. So there needs to be some sort of a universal layout for the switches. That needs to happen at the earliest. And since we are on the topic of switches, another thing which almost needs to be a standard is all these switches which are there, they need to come backlit. So more and more manufacturers are already doing this, which is a heartening sign, but it needs to happen more and more, and it needs to become some sort of an industry standard. So this is again safety slash functionality, and it's really quite useful for the rider. So yeah, I think these were the list of a few things, which is like an open letter to all motorcycle manufacturers. And yeah, I have also tried something new, as you guys might have observed. I have actually written down all this on a small post-it, which I keep in my clutch hand, and I refer to it from time to time to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, so what else is happening? In motorcycle terms, I have installed the handlebar raisers, the Carbon Racing handlebar raisers for the 390 Adventure, and that also comes with an extra long clutch cable which Carbon Racing sends in the shipment, and it makes a difference. It is making a difference in terms of easy accessibility to the handlebar. So that is something which is definitely helping. And I have also put a headlight protection slash color thingy from Adventure Conquest. So basically what this does is, this is like a yellow glass which sits on top of the headlight, and basically what it does is, the light which actually comes out, the throw of the light which actually comes out from the motorcycle, it comes out yellow. And basically what they're trying to do with that is, they're trying to mimic the look and feel of the halogen headlights, the conventional headlights, not the LED headlights. And the idea behind that is, things on the road or in front of you are much more realistic when the sort of yellow halogen light falls on them rather than the LED lights. So that's the reason why it has been done. I have not tested it yet on the road, but once I have a chance to, I'll update on it in one of my future videos. Quite a crowded signal, the Bannerghatta road. I sometimes feel there should also be some sort of a foot lever near the gearbox, much like the Royal Enfield of the 70s and 80s used to have. So instead of me trying to hunt around for the neutral, I should just press this sort of a lever with my foot, and it should bring the bike back to neutral from whichever gear it is. Could be quite a useful feature to have. Again, some of these probably sound like first world issues, and they probably are, but yeah, we should always continuously try to make things better, is what I feel. Continuous improvement, raising the bar. I am really enjoying the 390 Adventure more and more these days, even in the city. The CB350 which I have has started to get ever so slightly a bit boring. Probably hedonic adaptation is kicking in. But it's good, guys, it's good. It's just my bored mind trying to find fault with everything, which is unreasonable. So next week is Republic Day, and we have a day of official holiday from work, and I have taken the Monday also off, and me and family, we are headed to Mysore, which is about I don't know, I think 200 kilometers from Bangalore. So it's just a couple of days of getaway, where we just get to be away from Bangalore and known surroundings for a couple of days, just for a quick break. And then on the Republic Day, we are actually traveling back to Bangalore. My only worry is all the toll gates. If at all we hit any toll gates, they are going to be probably quite crowded. Not that we'll have any on Mysore Road, but yeah, that's the only worry. So we'll probably have to start a bit early in the morning to avoid all this chaos and mess. I have also done something which I think certainly is quite a clever hack for my motovlog helmet, especially for the mic. And I will actually show this in one of my future videos. I think it's certainly something quite logical and smart. At least I have not seen anybody who's done something like this to make mounting your mic into the GoPro camera. So yeah, keep a lookout for that video. This is also the same road where Art of Motorcycles is there. So it's been quite a while since I have been to Art of Motorcycles, just to see what those guys are up to. And for those who know, it's headed by the dynamic brother duo of Junaid Murtaza and Zoheb. Junaid is quite an accomplished rally sort of racer, won multiple awards everywhere. His entire garage, Art of Motorcycles, is complete with his trophies and shields and plaques and all that sort of a thing. And many of you who have